Good morning and welcome to Sunday Morning Coffee with Keto Simple. This stream will be starting soon, so grab your coffee, get comfortable, and settle in. We're building a strong and supportive community, so say hello in the chat, ask questions, and feel free to use super chats. Thank you for being here and being a part of this journey. Let's keep it positive and respectful as we connect and grow together. I can't wait to get started. Very hard to imagine that 2024 is so very close to being over. I mean, it's really inconceivable that we're basically just a handful of days away from 2025. Welcome to Sunday Morning Coffee. My name is Dustin. Thank you so much for being here today. I see so many wonderful people already in the chats. It looks like Evelyn is here. Good morning, Evelyn. United Carnivore is here. Good morning. Carnivore K is here. Good morning. Oh, my goodness. Matt Franklin bringing that Disney magic. Valerie is here. Good morning, Valerie. From Goshen, Indiana. Fantastic. I, too, am from Central Indiana. Well, I'm in Indiana, Central Indiana. I cannot think about right now where Goshen is. It's probably not that far away from me. I don't know. I can't think of it. I know I've heard of it before. Mr. Gugahan is in the house. Good morning, John. How are you? Andy! Andy is here, my lady laugh a lot. Good morning. So many people. Let's see. Andy is saying, Valerie, it's nice to meet you. Have we met? I don't think so. Anyway, welcome to the family. Very much so. Jeff Fafa is here. Jeff Fultz is in the house. Good morning, sir. Sean Bradley, good morning. Happy last weekend of 2024. It is a time of reflection. What did you accomplish in 2024? What were some of your failures? What did we learn? And how do we succeed from those failures going into 2025? Pretty heavy stuff for this Sunday morning. But I have my coffee, Mr. Bucky right there. I have some electrolytes here as well. Oh, let's see. Andy's telling Kay that she missed her. Good morning. That's wonderful. Sharon Holloway is here. Good morning, Sharon. How are you? Oh, people are excited to see me. Mr. Christian Delorme is in the house. Bonjour, bonjour. Ha ha, oui, ho, ho, ho. Oh, I know that's French Canadian. What are you going to do? It takes a little time to load that cool, fancy new intro. I just was making coffee. I'm a little slow this morning. I've been up since 6. But you know how it goes. Let's see. You know, Cindy is never going to want to make it for the intro because of the coffee. I don't know. Not enough guinea pigs running around. Good morning, Mr. Doyle. Brian Doyle's in the house. Good morning. I am so very happy to see you, my friend. John's running late this morning, just now making your coffee. Oh, my goodness. Coffee is very, very important. It's the basis of the show. The best thing I learned in 2024 is your pumpkin sausage soup. I don't know who originated that recipe, but it's some of the best soup ever. Oh, it's so good. So yummy. Oh, some good soup. I don't even think it even has pumpkin in it. Andy is day 4 of Triple B and E and doing well. I saw your video. So you've been posting your 1 and 2 and 3 day videos. Go and check out Andy, Milady Laugh-A-Lot's videos this week. She's putting out some of the best walking, talking videos that you can find in our community right now. So go and watch those. Support her. She needs all the watch hours and subscribers that she can get. So be sure to subscribe, watch those videos, and give the lady her props. Yes. And there is Milady Laugh-A-Lot's link right there in the chat for you. Matt is doing Triple B and E in their house as well. We have been not doing great. I mean, necessarily. I mean, on the grand scheme of things, we're doing fine. But, I mean, yesterday I had some hot dogs and some steak, but the day before that wasn't so good. But you know, consistency. You know, we didn't get to where we are by one meal. We're not going to lose everything we have because of one meal. So, yes. Andy is talking about some tallow balm that she made tallow balm last night. Stephanie is here. Good morning, Stephanie. Good morning. Sean says, we had an amazing 2024. Got to meet so many of you. We had a wonderful trip visiting family over in Ireland. Just can't believe all that happened this year. That's amazing. I want to go to Ireland. I want to go to all the places. And I was thinking, 2025, wow. It's hard to imagine a 2025 already. Man, I'm getting close to 50, folks. I'll be 46 in 2025. Yes. But I was thinking about putting a video together outlining the different reasons that people want to, or the different ways in which people will be doing new things or doing things in 2025. Whether you're starting this journey from scratch in 2025, that you are coming from standard American diet, going into a keto, carnivore, lion diet, some type of proper human diet in 2025, or you are coming back from being off the wagon you're coming back from the holidays, or you fell off long ago, or maybe you're just trying to up the game. So many times we see people going from keto into carnivore or lion diet, or always. I think we have a tendency to always try to do one up ourselves, and I don't know if that's necessarily always a positive. I think if you just focus on being more consistent in what you're doing daily, so whether you're doing the best keto you can do instead of leaving keto behind and going carnivore. I mean, I know that we are a community that has the ability to find out and find new ways of doing things. Let's see. Matt Franklin says Sarah's channel has taken a subscriber hit recently. She lost a few subs in the last week or so. Trying to get that monetization level is hard. It's Monetization on YouTube is not for the faint of heart. And one thing that I will tell anybody coming into this to get monetized, it's some of the hardest work you'll ever do because it's multifaceted. It's not just putting the videos out, but you're consistently having to grow you're trying to grow your skills as a creator, always trying to one up yourself in video production or whatever the case is, always trying to make your videos better. And no matter how much work you put into your videos, doesn't always translate into views or subscribers. You could put your everything into a video, and that's not going to guarantee that you have success. We do think about the idea that so many of our community are monetized and in the process of becoming monetized. And I think it's sub 6 or sub 5% of all creators on the platform are monetized. So the window is very small. But there's always room for more people. The thing about YouTube is there isn't a famine mentality. You just have to provide the content that people want to watch. John saying that I definitely let myself enjoy a few non-keto things on Christmas, but right back to it on the 26th. Mr. Christian Delorme says another great thing of 2024 is we became friends. Plus, you streamed on my most popular stream, Black Sabbath. Well, I appreciate you having me on. That was a lot of fun. I'm so glad that we got a chance to meet, and I know that comes through, Nick and Brian and a whole other side of things that aren't necessarily connected to this community. But myself have made a lot of friends over the years. I met Nick in person at a show in like 2010. And then when he started YouTube, I was like egging him on to do it and, do more and more. Started doing streaming with him and then met so many amazing people along the way. So I'm truly lucky that you invited me to be on that stream. And I know you've invited me on other ones subsequently, but since then, it's just difficult for me to do Sunday nights, things like that, because we do have a lot of family nights and stuff. But, let's see. Evelyn, can you post Sarah's link for her channel? I think we did that. Let's see. Stacy's in the house. Good morning. She says, no triple B and E for me. My body is requiring dairy, a little cheese, or heavy whipping cream with each meal per Dr. Sivas reviewing. Let's see, reviewing her labs. So we saw that reviewing the labs. Evelyn says January is World Carnivore Month. I love that. And it's been something to see 2024, the year. I think 2024 has kind of been one of the years of carnivore. Now, I know that carnivore has been steadily growing for a long time. We know that it's been something that Joe Rogan's talked a lot about on his podcast, and I only bring that up because he has the biggest platform, and he talks about primarily eating meat, veggies when he feels like it, fruits if he wants to. And then he's had Sean Baker on twice. He's had a number of people that I consider highly influential in the space on his show as well. So, and I just, it's funny because I want to say the first time that Sean Baker was on the Rogan podcast was like 2017 or something like that, like way early. Because when he was on it, not too long ago, he was on it probably about a year ago. I figured it had only been like maybe 2 years, and it had been like 6. So time flies. So it's not really all that surprising that it's already coming up on the precipice of 2025. Already, we're coming up over that ridge. We can see the sunrise on 2025. It is pretty insane. that we're going that fast. Amy is in the house. Good morning, Amy. Thank you so very much for being here. Stacy says the Easy Peasy Keto group will be starting back in a few weeks. Evelyn, I miss you guys. I miss you guys. I miss all of you. Matt says, I had a longtime friend call me last night, asked me about keto carnivore because his labs showed an A1C of 11, a fasting blood sugar of 300, gave him the basics and told him to call me with questions. I think that's the best way to do that, because if he would have called you and said, "Hey, I've got these issues," and then you would have said, "Well, you should try this," they probably wouldn't have listened as well. I think letting them come to you is the most important piece of this. We can't beat people over the head with it. And I'm never going to tell anybody, I think keto's the only way. I don't think carnivore's the only way. I don't think lion diet's the only way. I think that these are tools and aspects of a proper human diet. Just like Stacy says, that she needs to have some dairy in her diet. Some people, dairy doesn't work for them. And if somebody's suffering from, a very bad autoimmune issue, then obviously, a strict carnivore lion diet type thing is probably what they're going to need. And I think the bulk of humanity, you know, basically like a dirty, and I'm probably going to get crucified for saying this, but I think for 95% of the world, like a dirty keto, I mean, even if it's not necessarily keto, but of, extremely low carb, low sugar, lifestyle is probably adequate for 95% of the people to be immensely healthier than they are now. And I think we have to kind of look at that, because I think there's so many people out there pushing for carnivore or for whatever team they may be on, you know, everyone needs to be carnivore. I don't think that that's feasible. I don't think that that's realistic. I don't even think it's realistic to have everybody be strict keto. I think we are a race of, or a species of people that did not evolve necessarily to be 100% strict anything. I think we evolved to eat what we could get our hands on, primarily meat. And then in seasons where meat was hard to find, we were getting anything and everything that we could get that was growing that didn't cause us pain to eat it, or, or us to not be here anymore. I think, it's like, living a life where you don't have birthday cake on your birthday, or, you're going to get so few people who are going to follow any kind of lifestyle that doesn't afford them, you know, their cherished things. I know that we need to get away from, mac and cheese and chicken nuggets every day, and that kind of stuff, especially with our kids eating, all of the, sugary cereals and this, that, and the other. And I think, there's a lot going on in the political realm right now with, the pushback. Like we have people, and I'm not going to name names just because this is not a political show, but we have people in that sphere pushing to have things like dyes removed from our food. And then people are saying, well, why don't we just have them outright ban cereals? You're never going to do that. You're not, I mean, there's just not going to be a thing that happens. You're not going to ban breakfast cereals. You're not going to ban them from being advertised. Maybe not necessarily to children, but you're not going to get that stuff from being advertised. I think the most important thing we can look for here is the education of our people. The education aspect of this is going to be far more important than banning food types or anything like that. I think, we should be looking at the low hanging fruit. We should be looking at, the removal of as much as high fructose corn syrup out of our food supply. Um, and I understand that that comes with replacing it with real sugar, even though our bodies don't necessarily know the difference. But I think these are places to start, and the dyes and the food, because our companies are making the food already dye free for other countries right here. So they are already doing it. I don't understand how difficult it would be for them to stop doing it for us. Now, I'm never going to support outright bans on food. I'm not going to I don't want to ban people on, government subsidies from being able to buy soda or sugary cereal. And there's a reason for that. As soon as you set a precedent of allowing government entities to decide for a person what's healthy for them, I mean, if you think about it, we're already there. They decide what's healthy for us, and it's the wrong thing. The FDA, everybody's already pushing what they consider healthy, and we already know that that's not the right stuff. So why would we want to go ahead and give them more control over what someone can utilize their own money there? Because I mean, yes, it's a government subsidy, but as soon as you give it to them, it's their money. And yes, there's restrictions on food. They have to buy, you know, food that isn't already cooked or whatever, which I think is silly, because if somebody could go to Costco with their SNAP program and buy the rotisserie chickens, I mean, that's a no-brainer. $5 is cheaper than you're going to get it anywhere else. And it's already cooked. And we already know that people that are living, in these situations are already strapped for time. They're strapped for cash. They're already strapped for so many things that some of us take for granted. So I think removing that whole idea, like, well, if they can use it at Costco, then they could use it at McDonald's. Well, I think that's where the education thing comes in. We have to educate people. We have to be real with people. You can't just take things away, because we've seen how that war on things works. It doesn't work. Telling people to not do something is the best way to get them to want to do it in the first place. And I look at this and I want to say, I see all these people, especially a lot of the bigger creators, supporting things like, we need to ban cereals. It's not going to work. And that's not the best course of action. We should be educating people that, you probably shouldn't be eating this every day. But I don't think a bowl of cereal, here and there is truly what's causing our issues. We're inundated every day with seed oils. That's in everything. Sugar is in everything. There's no I mean, I've got a video that's probably going to drop tomorrow, and I've been saying that for a while, but I've just finished actually cutting it. I just got to finish tidying it up, about nutrition labels. How, you can have a product on the front say one thing and the nutrition label on the back says a whole other story. We need to clean that up. We need to start with things that people can actually get on board with, that aren't so controversial. If you start going at the controversial stuff right away, you're going to run into a lot more resistance than we really need at this point. I think we really should be focusing on trying to desaturate our market of seed oils. Now, are we going to get McDonald's and all the fast food restaurants and all of the major food manufacturers to walk away from seed oils overnight? There's absolutely no way. But maybe, just maybe, we can get them to start adding lines of products that do not have seed oils in them. And then we can utilize our wallets to tell them what we want and show them what we want and show them that it makes sense for them to make it. They've been making things with seed oils for so long. It's a profit driven from them. They're getting food subsidies to make it. That's why any kind of product that comes to market that has no seed oil in it, whether it's made from avocado oil or whatever, is so much more expensive, at least 3, 4 times more expensive. And we're willing to pay that cost because we know. But the average consumer looks at that price and goes, there's no way on earth I'll just keep buying my Hellman's or whatever it is, my Miracle Whip, because it's cheaper. I can get it for $4 and I'm not paying $15 for a small little thing at the grocery store. Now I know that Costco, you can get it for 10 for a bigger jar, but not everybody's going to go to Costco. So I think we have to we have to be realistic in these fights. We can't just start going and swinging blindly. We have to go into this realistically. We have to go into this with realistic expectations. It's going to take decades to get out of the hole that we're in now. It doesn't matter who's in office. It doesn't matter who's fighting for us. It doesn't matter who we think our champion is. This is going to be a long, entrenched battle with people who are, who stand to lose billions of dollars in revenue to change the products that they've been making for the better part of a century. This isn't an easy fix. You're not going to just pass a law and it's going to be better overnight. Because we have to then we have to ensure that there's tests being done, that they're being legitimately accurate with what they're saying. Because how much olive oil is on the market that's not real olive oil? How much avocado oil right now is on the market that's not real avocado oil, that's mixed with canola and vegetable oils, and doesn't even necessarily say it on the packaging. Or if it does in a way that you don't understand. There's a lot. There's a lot. It's going to take a long time. 2025 may be a year we start to see, things click into place, but this battle is just beginning to start. So hopefully we can get a lot of people on board to, for this journey together. But it's going to be a lot. And we've got to realize that we're going to lose a lot more battles than we're going to win. But we have to keep trying. John says that's growth for me. In the past, I would have let myself go way off and probably not get back on track until January 1st. Yeah. And Jeff Fultz says, like life, continuous improvement is my goal. And that's all I look to, is how can I make sure that if I do something today, it's not going to bleed into tomorrow. I can get back on track tomorrow, because I've had a few off track things this holiday season, multiple days, in fact, with Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, things leading up to that. Well, we're going to have it for Christmas. Well, why don't we have it today? Though that thing kind of starts to seep in, and you realize how bad you feel. And it is kind of a reminder of how bad you can feel when you eat off plan. So, yeah. Keto works for dropping A1C, went from 5.9 to 5.3 in 3 months. Perfect. No, I think when it comes to things like being and having an A1C of 11, a fasting blood glucose of 300, those things take more time for your body to be able to regulate. Now, keto is going to help. Keto is going to be the main thing of fixing it, but it just takes a little more time, I think, for some people. Some people may take a year or two. Evelyn, can't wait. I'm just going to keep avoiding all sugars and grains and see what happens. Yeah. Brian, I must say that I want to say, you've come on here and you've been very open and honest about your struggles, and I think that that's truly beneficial to all of us. You know, not everything goes according to plan. Not everything is as it seems, and I really appreciate you being here and talking about that. Evelyn says, as the frog said, the time is fun while you're eating flies. Yeah, we just need to make sure we're doing what's right for us individually. And Christian says, sorry to derail the stream, but Corey talks about is doing fine. He's working 7 days a week, but smiling in good spirits. Did I miss something? Did you say something would happen to Corey? Did I miss that? I don't see something that I missed. Not that I'm seeing anyway. My apologies if I'm missing something, Christian. Let's see. Andy says, after triple beanie is finished, I'm getting my blood work done through Own Your Labs. Haven't had it, excuse me, haven't had it done in over a year. Excuse me. This has been hard. So 25, I'm tightening up again. I think that's a good thing. Food as a reward is an addiction. I don't necessarily think that that's true. I think it can be true, but there's so many ways to look at things. I mean, it's like I, I wrestle with this because I don't necessarily think that the average person as food as a reward is really an addiction because I look at like we have to have food to survive. We can't just not have food indefinitely. We can go stretches without food fine with fasting and such. But I don't think that, we can go without food and our ancestors didn't go indefinitely without food. Now, there was, probably big swaths of history where people didn't have sweets because they just didn't have it. It wasn't available to them. But I think throughout history, there's been a lot of times where we have had it available, and I don't think it really necessarily impacted us negatively in the grand scheme of things. And I think we can't necessarily look at everything. Like I don't think sugar is poison. Sugar can't. I mean, it comes down to the dose. Our bodies manufacture glucose because it's necessary to the function of our body. So I don't necessarily think having sugar here and there in our food is necessarily a bad thing. I just don't think that I just think we live in a society where we're having hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of grams of sugar every day. I think then that's where the dose problem comes in. But I don't think having an apple every once in a while is poison for us. Are apples now what they used to be? No. I think, having a 100 or 200 gram of sugar coffee in the morning is absolutely preposterous. And it's become the norm and nobody bats an eye. But have a steak and 6 eggs and people will freak out. So I think we have to look at priorities. But I don't think having, like I said, like I take the girl most Fridays to get, some French fries and some ice cream. And I don't necessarily think that that's a bad thing for her to have. We do our best to feed her the best we can. We have mommy and daddy feeding her differently. I mean, they're going to feed her how they're going to feed her. They're mommy and daddy. But we're grandma and grandpa, and we feed her the way that, we see fit when she's here. But I don't necessarily see a problem with her having some, French fries and ice cream on occasion once a week or something like that. I don't think that that's necessarily a problem when I think there's a lot of kids in her class who are probably eating that every day. I understand. I think for me, as someone who has dealt with food addiction for a long time, I don't necessarily see the reward side of it as the problem with addiction. I think for me, utilizing it as a coping mechanism for me is the addiction aspect. If I have a stressful day and my first thought is to turn to food, then yes, that's the addiction side of it coming in. But my birthday's coming up. I want to have some pizza. I don't necessarily think that that's an addiction side of it. I think I think it's very nuanced, and I think we have to look at food very nuanced because each of us individually is very nuanced, and how food impacts us individually is very nuanced. We have to be very careful with wide, sweeping blanket statements when it comes to food because I think then that doesn't I don't really think that helps our cause. Especially if we're trying to grow our community and make our community large because we want to help as many people as we can. So we have to not sound crazy. And I'm not trying that's not what I'm accusing anybody here of sounding crazy, but I think um Amy Berger, her YouTube channel is Keto Without the Crazy. And I think that's a testament to this to my thought process as well. Like, and what we've been talking about or what I've been talking about here is a lot of things going on with the political side of things. There's things that they're asking for that to the average person sounds insane. So we have to remember perspective. The idea of eating just beef, salt, and water to 99.99% of the population sounds absolutely crazy. Just like to how, just like if somebody were to say, I'm just going to eat seed oils and vegetables and that's all I'm going to eat, sounds crazy. So we have to remember perspective. Yes, Soylent Green is people. And that's why I think it's hilarious that there's a product out there. I don't know if it's still on the market, but it's been on the market for a while called Soylent. And it's a soy product. I think that's pretty hilarious. Yeah, Evelyn's, Evelyn has a point here with take the healthy stickers off the food and let us decide. I don't think that's going anywhere either. I think that we're always going to try to label things and we're always going to be battling marketing. We're always going to be battling. So I kind of feel like no matter what restrictions we put on marketing, they're going to figure a way to play games. And we just have to figure how to read between the lines. And I think that's a very big important thing is how do we read between the lines? That's hugely important. How do we educate ourselves to read between the lines? We can't just go based on the front of the package. And we're seeing more and more products these days that are saying keto, paleo, they'll have like what look like official little emblems. It's keto certified, paleo certified, vegan certified. It's this, that, it's the other. But what does that actually mean? So the front of the box tells me something. We have to investigate the back of the box. That, I think, is the starting point. I think we really should be focusing with people is how do we decipher the code that is the front of the box plus the back of the box? How do we determine whether or not that's something we put in our cart or not? I just think that we're going to be battling what's healthy, what's not healthy, and and for a while, one side's been winning. Vegetables are healthy and soy is healthy and avoiding meat is healthy. And now we're trying to push back the other way. And I wonder, what are we going to do that's going to not be so great for the bulk of people? So we have to make sure that we don't end up like them as well. We don't want to be, we don't want to be more special than and be the only one allowed to wear the farmer's clothes. So we have to be careful with that stuff. Stacy says my labs will be repeated in 3 months, shooting for thyroid and anemia improvements, added more fat, seafood, and dairy, and using RO water filter to get rid of fluoride, chloride, and bromide. Okay. I'm curious to see how that's gonna say. Karen is here. Good morning, Karen. Thank you so much for being here. You can't buy pre-cooked food on Snap, so no $5 chicken for you. You can buy a raw chicken and cook it yourself. I mean, that's the thing, but that raw chicken is going to cost you $10. That's my argument. You can't buy a $5 pre-cooked chicken, but you can buy a $10 uncooked chicken and then spend, an hour and a half getting it ready and cooking it. I think that's the thing. I think that again, it's all so nuanced. There needs to be nuance. Like, you can't buy McDonald's and Hardee's, but you should be able to buy, a rotisserie chicken. I think that's the problem is it's very difficult to police that and have the nuance there. So again, education being the key. And Christian says, Melanie says we got away from food groups and understanding them. I think that, we had the food groups, we had the 4 food groups. So we got to make sure we're eating from the 4 food groups. Then we switched to the food pyramid. And then we got into my plate. And I don't know what we're doing now. But the 4 food groups, that included, bread and grains and all that stuff as well. So I think we really should be, I think there should be, I think the food pyramid was just upside down. But I think, understanding there should be a hierarchy to food. There should be what's better for us and what's less better for us. And then it's up to us to make those decisions. But I think there's been those waters are so muddy that it's impossible for us to make an actual educated decision en masse. I mean, the majority of people are making what they think are the best decisions for themselves with flawed information. Cindy is here. Good morning, Cindy. She says, good morning, lost track of time. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you so very much, more than you understand, Cindy. Let's see. Sean says, I think that they should start telling the truth and warn people about what truly is healthy. I think that the problem here isn't necessarily with telling the truth. Now, there's a few people out there that know the truth that are withholding it, but most people are telling you based on what they've learned and what they know to be true. Whether it's true or not, they're telling you what they think to be true. So we have to remember that. We have to remember that for decades and decades and decades, we've been planting those seeds that, that red meat is bad, cholesterol is bad, you know, um, all these things are bad. That you need to be eating more vegetables, more grains, heart healthy foods. In reality, those are backwards, but people are telling you the truth as they know it. So we can't just go based on what's true and what's not true, because it's depending on whose truth are we talking about here. Like I said, it's very nuanced. Cindy, I made a comment about you never being on time because of the new intro, and it's all about coffee. Amy says, I'm starting triple B&E on the 2nd. I have been at a stall for 7 months, doing it as a reset and an elimination. This will be my first time. Fingers crossed. I think my problem is dairy. It very well might be. Hopefully we get some answers. Oh, yes, indeed. It's Chickmunk time. Chickmunk time. She's going to watch it at 2x speed. I hope the video does. It's one of those videos that I've made and edited, and I don't know if it's good enough. So I hope you guys watch it and let me know what you truly think, because it'll be something that I will just redo again if I have to and get more information. So hopefully it works. No. No. Oh, goodness. I was late to so Andy says, Cindy, you lost track of time. That's my excuse for being late to your streams. I was late to her stream the other day because I didn't even know when it started yet. Because it was and her streams normally start at 5 or 6:30, and one started at 5. So it was way earlier than I thought. And I still had running around to do, and I didn't even get home. By the time I got home, yeah. I hadn't had a chai, didn't get home. The stream was already over. So yeah. Oh, okay, okay. One of the streams that I had mentioned, I hadn't seen Corey in a while. Yeah, because he will be there. He'll go on stretches where he's on, he's on Nick's channel. He'll be on with comics and all that stuff, and then I just won't see him for a while. So yeah, I mean, if he's working tons and tons, and I understand that. Cindy says, I have been up since about 6:30, ready for the day. Have to go to the store and get green chilies to make pumpkin sausage soup today. And you're going to drive across the great wide open to bring me some. I would say to take some to Christian, but you need a passport to go there. Evelyn is being very helpful and letting Amy know that Ketogenic Woman, Two Crazy Ketos, all have a lot of videos about triple B and E, and hope that kicks your stall. I hope so as well. Are we the only people who don't like pumpkin sausage soup? I don't understand. That doesn't those words in that order, I don't understand. Yeah, you got to be creative. I kind of find that if I'm very simplistic, it works better for me. When I start to be creative, it kind of starts to fall apart. Like if I'm doing just like burger patties and eggs every day and some bacon strips, I'm a lot better if I just do the simplest, easiest thing every day. The repetitiveness, I think, really helps me. When I get all like trying to do something cool, it falls apart. Yeah, the dose does make the poison. I'm making chili today, two versions, since the eldest can't eat cooked tomatoes. That's disheartening. Cindy says, even though your opening is all about coffee, I still love you. Happy New Year, Dustin. Well, thank you, Cindy. I truly appreciate you more than you'll ever know. Truly thankful for you being in my life, and thank you for the $10. I truly appreciate that. Andy says, I just jumped in the shower to start my day. Great start for a Sunday listening to the live stream. Hey, everybody, Andy's naked. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe inappropriate, but I thought it was funny. Sue me. Rockin' Keto Amy's in the house. Good morning, Amy. Be sure to smash that thumbs up. I appreciate you all so very much. Watch as much as you can. I was watching a video yesterday, and it was a very silly video. So the first half of the video was talking about how YouTube really values the percentage of time watched on each video. So, and what some creators do is they will make videos with their little ad bombs in them, like their little 45-second ads. And then once their time elapses on those videos for those ads, so they may have a contract with that company to keep an ad in a video for 3 years or whatever it is, then as soon as that time is up, they go and they delete it out. And that helps bump up the watch time. And so this person had made a video, was going to keep it up for 8 hours or 7 hours. And they had made the video like 30 minutes long or something like that. And the first 15 minutes was just talking about how the algorithm works and how important it is, this, that, and the other. Then the second part of the video, most people probably won't see because he's going to cut it off or whatever. Or maybe he's just baiting us and we watch the whole video anyway, because you're going to see, well, what am I going to be missing when he cuts the video in half? But the second half of the video was just him rating English sweets and English treats. Like, is fish and chips better than, like, doesn't like beans or blood pudding or whatever. It was a weird type of video. But anyway, yeah, I digress. Amy says, like Cheerios are heart healthy. Yeah, what's the weird? Like Honey Nut Cheerios. And if you look at like the difference between Honey Nut Cheerios and like the difference, if you look like side to side, like the ingredients and the macros and everything of Honey Nut Cheerios next to like Fruit Loops, there's not a whole big difference between the two. I mean, there's a bunch of dyes, probably the difference is the dyes, but I mean, that or like Lucky Charms, for example. You are welcome. You can follow Milady Laugh a Lot too. She's already started her triple B and E journey for this year. Let's see. Yeah, Amy. I used to eat berry Cheerios because they were heart healthy. They lower cholesterol. My cholesterol was great eating that stuff. My A1C was 7.5 and I weighed over 260 pounds. Yeah. Cindy said her son is going to come back on without distractions on Monday evening, so be sure to check that out. Everyone, mark your calendars, set your reminders, head on over and support Cindy and her son on Monday. I'm going to guess 6 p.m. or 6:30. Friday night coming up is going to be her and semi-retired Bob having a live stream Saturday at noon and then she has a live stream Saturday at noon with Bronson and Natalie. Well, those will be fantastic to watch. Hopefully, I can hold it together that night. Well, I hope so too. Boritza is here. Good morning. I would totally drive there to get some. Maybe the last time anyone ever saw me. Carnivore K, send me some soup, Cindy. The big C has hit our house. Oh, goodness gracious. I hope you, yeah. I thought you only said inappropriate things on Tuesday Night Lives. You know what? I struggle here, okay? Because I'm a very inappropriate person in general. So I work very hard to keep this stream Sunday morning coffee appropriate. I really do. So, anyway, Sharon says, okay, kiddos, time to start my day. I have cabinet doors to stain and help with milling rails and stiles and another 14 doors. Oh, my goodness gracious. Well, good luck with that. Have fun. Enjoy your day. And thank you for being here. Stacy goes, Sean, inappropriate and Dustin go hand in hand. Isn't that not the truth? I was quick getting dressed today in the short and a short shower, so maybe subconsciously I felt awkward taking a shower while listening to you. Oops, there goes your money for this live stream. I mean, let's be real. When I get demonetized for a video like this one, I'm losing about 30 cents. Fasting in the middle of a forest for 40 days is here. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Blood glucose today was 88. Ketones were 1.5. Burn, baby, burn. Fasting day number 28 and feeling great. That's impressive. I've only gone 21 days, and I don't think I'd ever do that again. 7 days is kind of what I like, and I usually do 1 or 2 of those each year. I try to do at least 2 7-day fasts a year, usually beginning of the year, about the middle of the year. Just good, like little resets for the body. I think it's good. I think it's one of the best way. Let us see. John Cougahan is off to church. Well, thank you so much for being here, sir. Happy New Year and be safe, my friend. And we'll see you next Sunday, 2025. Good morning, Jerry, as everybody's saying. Let's see. Amy says, did anybody figure out if you can change email on your channel? Mine is hooked to my old work She told me that she keeps getting emails about what I'm doing on here, so I need to create a new. No. Let me see. Let me see. All right. All right. So I'm going to read this to you so we can kind of get this up here. All right. So what this is telling me to do is to change your YouTube email address. You can change your Google account email address, sign into your Google account, click your profile picture avatar on the top right corner, select manage your Google account, click personal info in the left column, click email in the contact info section, select Google account email, click edit next to your email address, enter new email address you want to use, save to confirm. My thing here is your YouTube email address that you're using for YouTube should have nothing to do with your channel. So it shouldn't be, Amy at yourchannel.com or anything like that, or because Keto Simple email is not my email address for YouTube. You want to make YouTube hard to be stolen from you. So you want it to be something completely different than who you are. So keep that in mind. All right, let me get back here and see where I was. Becky's here. Good morning, Becky. Twinbrook Acres is in the house. Good morning. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate you. Sean says, I don't want to think about next Sunday yet. I have 3 more days off from work and I want to make the best of them. Do it. Mm. Oh, my goodness gracious. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Ugh. Okay. So, yeah. Let's see. Don't like what I've got going on here. Let's see. There we go. That's what I wanted. Oh, my goodness gracious, boys and girls. Playing around with some stuff today. Yeah, that's great advice. Yeah. So my email at Milady Laugh a Lot is not connected to any of the real life stuff. Yeah, I mean the thing is like in that you shouldn't ever be. I utilize. I have various emails for various things. But yeah, having some of those email addresses connected to certain things, like most things should be realistically, most of your emails that you're utilizing for stuff, like logins and everything. I should probably go back and there's a lot of that I should probably change. I should probably create an email just to use for that I don't use for anything else. but just trying to save yourself from being hacked the best way you can. Becky, so glad that you just asked that. Yeah, so we do have someone in the chat that's in the process of a 40-day fast. I think they're like 20 day 23 or something like that. I've done 21 days. What kind of questions do you have? CNC female is here. Good morning. I think you're one of his moderators, aren't you? She says, normally I'm on Victor's YouTube, Southern Keto. Saw you were live. Thought I would check it out. Well, thank you so much for being here. It's kind of an informal live that we do on Sunday mornings, kind of hang out with everybody, drink coffee, loosely have topics, but we're really just here to hang out and talk, spend time with our people here. Let's see. Yeah, neither in your Facebook account. Yeah. Fasting in the middle of a forest for 40 days is on an annual 40-day fast right now. That's crazy. My longest was 40. Should I do it again? That's completely up to you. I think fasts that long kind of become almost like a just a journey of themselves. I mean, that's really like I did 21 days, and I would have to say that that's one of those things that's truly, I don't know, it's an experience. I think I mean, I think striving to kind of hit that, 7-day mark for most people is probably, one of those things. But like what Jeff is saying, as long as it's 72 hours, I think that's a big ask for a lot of people, especially these days where most people don't even go 8 hours without eating. Most people don't even go a full night's sleep without eating, you know? I just think that it's a definite journey. I think, in my opinion, I like having 2 7-day fasts a year. I think that that's good for autophagy. I think that's a true way to have kind of a body reset, kind of a body um, cleanse, if you will, kind of goes through and kind of removes a lot of the things out of the body. I think I should probably incorporate more 48-hour, 72-hour fasts throughout the year. I think those would be very important as well with autophagy and not necessarily for weight loss because I never do fasting for weight loss. It's all about the body and the health of my inner body. That's why I do fasting. I do fasting sometimes to kind of reset myself. Like if I get to a point, as I don't have caffeine typically when I'm fasting, because I think that that is caffeine being a diuretic and coffee and things like that being a diuretic can dehydrate you. So you're already kind of struggling to keep hydrated in a fasted state anyway. The last 7-day fast I did, I was doing it and I was utilizing um, uh, clean slate salty. And it started off, I was having 2 or 3 packets a day. And then by the end of the fast, I was barely having a packet a day, mixing it over multiple of these of water. And I was adding like a half a packet to one of these, and it was still like almost unbearably salty towards the end. So your body tells you a lot of information. So it's definitely something to keep in mind. And I think people really should look inward and kind of decide, is fasting right for them? I think everybody probably should be fasting. I think that's part of humanity. I think it's part of our evolution. We didn't come from a history of eating every day. I mean, maybe for the last maybe 1,000 years, we probably ate every day on the majority. But I think, if we're looking at history, the grand scheme of history, the last million years of human evolution, I don't think we came from eating every day. So I think fasting being a part of our evolution probably could help us out a great deal. I think the lack of fasting added in with things like seed oils and dyes and sugars and all these things are probably what's kind of getting us where we are. But that's just my opinion. I am not a doctor, healthcare provider, nurse, or anything like that. So, yeah. Well, fantastic. I'm glad you're here. Let's see. I have three email addresses, one with Facebook, one with YouTube. Yes, my name with added numbers, and my main one. Yeah, you don't want your email address that's your YouTube be the same because then it is easier for them to figure out how to get it. So, yeah. So, let's see. She started December 2nd, ending December or January 11th. That's fantastic. I'm truly proud of you. That's amazing work. Sherry Lynn's in the house. Good morning. I haven't been on in a while. A lot of stress at work and dad having health issues the past month. Getting ready for work and now listening. Well, thank you so much for being here. I hope everything is going better. I hope the stress at work is being alleviated, and I hope that your dad is feeling better. And our thoughts are with you and him. So I truly am glad that you're here. You have been missed. Twinbrook Acre says, I gotta go make coffee. Yeah, you do. Get it. Let's see. Stacy says, I'm looking for meetups in the next 6 weeks that might take us adventuring before we start our gardening group, which requires daily loving here. Who is doing or wants to do something? I'm interested. Just depends on what the weather looks like and things like that. I'm interested in a meetup because I know that we're going to be limited for the next couple of months anyway. I need you. I need Stacy. I need more of that pepper blend that you brought to the meetup because I'm almost out of what you that I got from you, and the garlic. Oh, it's so good. I love it. That pepper blend. It's the right amount of heat. The flavor is tremendous. If you could figure a way to make enough and sell it, I think you'd be a very wealthy woman. Chris is here. Good morning, Chris. How are you doing, buddy? He says, good morning, folks. Yeah, and so her fast started out as religious reasons, and it's one of those things like fasting becomes very personal for people. Um, it is often utilized for spiritual reasons, and I know that a lot of fasting isn't necessarily water fasting for 40 days. I think there's a lot of cultures and religions that utilize fasting, and they do drink milk at sundown or something like that. So it's not completely caloric free, calorie free, so to speak. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people do utilize fasting for religious purposes. They utilize it for all types of purposes. For myself personally, I utilize it hopefully to enhance longevity in myself, to clean out my system, hopefully remove toxins from my body. Who knows what's going in. Even the best we do to control the stuff that we take in, there's a lot of things that we're not in control of. So hopefully that's helped some, you know. And Chris Cook in Nashville, here's his channel. He just released an ebook. He has a new Mighty Networks. So if you're interested in any of those, please go check those out. The ebooks. The ebook is free. I'm not sure what the Mighty Network is. I'm not 100% sure if it's free or not. I'm sure he will let us know in the comments. Um, I'm a moderator over there. Um, but forgive me, I don't know if it costs anything or not. I'm a little out of the know where I probably should know more than I do. But I mean, is his life, yeah? Oh, let's see. Yeah, I wish they would add that the chats in the phones where you can do the ats and it would bring up. I don't know why. They probably can. I don't know why they haven't. But YouTube seems to be years behind other other apps for some reason. So I don't know. Yeah, I've seen people who just fast during Lent. They'll just fast the entirety of Lent. So it's not, it's just one of those things. Becky wishes that she was in the Midwest so she could attend these. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, Evelyn says that she's using the Stacy Pepper blend to make the chili. That stuff is so good. Good morning, Sonny. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you so very much. I'm on week 6 of adding back in one extended fast a week. I do a minimum of 36 hours every week. Fantastic. Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure. I thought it might have been 15. I just didn't want to say a number. So it's $10 a month with a private network. Got to pay the bills, or I'd make it free. 100%. So much of this stuff that we do for free. So, um, yeah, I understand completely. Let's see. I know about autophagy from Dr. Barry, but what is the benefit of fasting? I work very long physical job. I'd die if I drank water during all I drank during the water was unassisted. Some ketones are created though. So fasting realistically, like so basically with fasting, you probably need to drink. You would need to drink not just what's called free water, which is electrolyte free water, like tap water. Um, and you make sure you're incorporating some kind of electrolyte. There are clean electrolytes. There's now I know Element gets a bad rap, but they do have a unflavored that's clean. And they do, and then Salty has um the clean slate. And that's basically just the electrolytes, no frills, no nothing else, no flavoring, no sweeteners, anything like that. So really the autophagy part, so I mean it's just aiding and breaking down the cells, the damaged cells. Uh Basically it does that to create the glucose that your body requires to live. I'll tell you, when I did my 21-day fast, kind of in the middle of it, we had to move everything in our house around twice because we were getting flooring put in. So we had to move everything from upstairs, or everything upstairs had to move, everything downstairs had to move out and back. So to move everything into the garage, and then we had to pull it all back in. We had to put everything in the garage. We had to take the couches out, everything out to get the flooring put in. Then once the flooring was in, then we had to move it all back in. Then we had to do the upstairs and repeat. It was a lot. Um, so I know I had to take more breaks than normal. So I imagine if you have a very physical job, I mean, you could definitely incorporate black coffee. I don't, just because I do try to reset my caffeine intake because it can get pretty high sometimes. I can get to where I'm doing taking in a lot more caffeine than I would like. But yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, you're gonna make ketones. I mean, in my fasting at 7 days, I've got up to like 6 ketones. But I mean, there's just gonna be probably a lot more in the bloodstream than your body's utilizing when you're fasting. So I mean, most people don't need to fast more than like every 2 hours on a regular basis. But a long extended fast can do some people some good. People do it for religious reasons. They do it for all kinds of reasons. And Stacy says, "Thank you. That's why we grow our garden. We love gifting good food and teaching people how to garden. That stuff is just so good. Oh my goodness. I'm thinking about making some broccoli cheddar soup today and using the last little bit of that pepper blend I have in there. I think it's gonna be good." Sean signed up for his Mighty Networks today. Fantastic. Well, thank you for being a member of the band. $10 a month. Thank you, Sean. Truly appreciate that. I know it's not mine, but I am a moderator over there, so I am trying to, I want to see this community grow, and I think what Chris is doing in his community is going to be pretty cool. So I'm going to um, promote that in his book, and just promoting each other is what we do here. So, you know, Victor from Southern Keto is in that group as well. So I think there's going to be a lot of cool things we can do over there. Questions we can answer that we may not be able to answer here, that type of stuff. Obviously, still not going to be giving out any advice, but as things go. Yeah, Evelyn says Chris's new book is free, but you need to put info in to receive it. So you got to put an email address in and your, I think, name and address, so he can find you. But no, for real. Yeah. Yes, it's keto chow, fasting drops, electrolyte drops, and daily minerals, half a cap daily. Yeah, that's gonna work wonders. Um, I like the idea, Evelyn. 36 hours I can do fairly easily more often since I can I often eat once a day. Yeah. Let's see. Evelyn says I had gotten away from it and fought my way back to doing it again. I'm glad too. I lost a lot of inflammation in just the first week. I feel better. I think clearer and doing it this once a week. Yeah. And I think sometimes mixing it up and not doing it the same day or the same time each week, maybe sometimes throwing in two in one week. And then, I don't know, just playing around with it and keep your body guessing, I think also helps a lot as well. Becky says I drink water with a quarter teaspoon of Redmond's real salt per 16 ounce, or six per 16 ounces every third 16 ounce. Yeah, that works too. And Cindy says that she did see the thing about the Mighty Networks. Unfortunately, I can't do that. I'm not a fan of Mighty Networks. I don't know anything about Mighty Networks as a company or whatever. I am trying to learn how to navigate it. Um, it doesn't seem to be as intuitive as I would like, but um, I'm committed to learning how to use it. So hopefully, once I learn how to use it, maybe I can put a tutorial together on how to use it, and that may help some people. There's probably tutorials out there already, but yeah. This year we're growing more peppers with fewer veggies that we aren't eating more. Okay, I'm looking forward to getting some more because that stuff is amazing. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the fasting is there's a definite euphoria, um, and you get very happy towards the end. I always just feel great when I'm fasting. It is weird because I will feel wonderful. I'm not hungry, but I have a tendency to sit and watch things like triple what you call it, uh, Triple D, diners, drive-ins, and dives or whatever. I love watching that show when I'm fasting for some weird reason, and I get recipe ideas. So Cindy says I typically fast 16 to 18 hours a day. I will do extended fasts, one on extended one on occasion. Chris says Mighty Networks isn't perfect, but it's far more useful than any other programs out there, giving me more of an option to do for. Yeah, I think there's a lot of opportunities there. I think you can even go live inside of Mighty Networks. There's a lot of things you can do inside. There's a lot of like I said, I'm not very familiar with it. I'm learning it and trying to navigate it. Um, like I said, I am very new with utilizing it, so I am working to try to get better at utilizing it. Chris has asked me to come in and be a moderator, and I want to help I want to help our community, and that's what I'm going to do. So I mean, I am committed to learning how to utilize it. So I don't really know much about it. I know that 2KK was on it, and I had difficulties utilizing it, and I know a couple other people use it. Um, yeah, they're asking. Okay. Okay, so she's asking what's wrong with it, and she's saying that just don't like it at all. I'm a free member over at 2KK. I've been struggling trying to get them connected, so like I don't have to log in and out of them to get into. So trying to figure out how to switch between 2KK and Chris's network, trying to figure that out, and I've had a little difficulty trying to figure that out. Like I said, I'm a noob when it comes to this, and I'm just trying to figure it out. But yeah, um, I think it gives control to the creator and control of a group that's not like, because of the Facebook group, you still have to really struggle to stay around the Facebook rules, and the same thing with YouTube. And there's a when it comes to YouTube in of itself, you can't directly connect with your audience like you can in other platforms. But then other platforms restrict you so heavily. Um, like you can't just message someone here on Facebook. I mean, on YouTube. I'm gonna sneeze. Sorry about that, folks. But yeah, like I can't message other creators and collaborate with them on YouTube. You've got to do it outside. And doing that is difficult, whether you're trying to do it on Twitter or on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Excuse me. It's just one of those things trying to figure out how to connect with somebody. Because if you want to, like if, like with the collaboration that Chris and Victor and I do, if there was a way to do that inside of YouTube, it would be so much easier. But we have a group chat that's an SMS chat. So we had to get each other's phone numbers. And I know that's good for connecting, but like how would we, and like, not everybody utilizes and pays attention to Instagram, or not everybody has a Twitter, so trying to figure out how to reach out to all these creators, or even just trying to get people involved with coming onto a live stream is difficult. So I know that Mighty Networks is one of those places that it makes it easier to be able to message the people that you're in. So anybody that's in the Mighty Networks, you can message, chat with. You can do it with Chris, me, Victor, anybody that's in there, Ash, everybody. There just isn't a place like, there's just nothing else like it like that, I think. And I'm just now learning it. So it's just frustrating as a creator that it is so difficult to keep touch with other creators. Like Steve from Serious Keto, I don't think he's really much active on social media. So if you need to reach out to him, you got to email him. And then and then there's a couple creators that I'm connected with on Facebook Messenger, and I can message them. We can talk that way, or we can do it on Instagram. But then they don't always look at it. They don't always get back to you on Instagram or Twitter. And Twitter makes it to where you're going to basically be verified to be able to contact other verified accounts, which is nice. But you can pay to be verified. They don't do any free verifications anymore. Same thing with Instagram and YouTube. You got to pay to be verified. So it's just, yeah. Thank you, everybody. Let's see. I got kicked out of 2KK Facebook group because I told someone truth, and I upset the moderator, so they banned me, blocked me. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Chris, connect the networks, the same account login, then you can switch networks at the top left corner of the app. I'm in Dr. Barry's as well as I can switch back and forth. Okay. I just got to figure that out because I signed up for the 2KK a long time ago. And then I signed up for yours. So I'm for sure the passwords and stuff aren't the same. I just got to go in and do it. Thank you all so much. And Cindy's talking about the guinea pig is type 1 diabetic. Sometimes he needs to eat in the mornings, but usually we both wait till 1 or 2 in the afternoon for our first meals. Yeah. Thank you, Cindy. Carl got me the membership for the PhD with Dr. Barry, and Nisha's intro video for Mighty Networks is great. I had to create a different profile for each thing I follow. Well, that's the thing, is that not everybody has a personal Facebook account. There's just not everybody's on every platform. That's the problem. Let's see. Chris says, I also own my Mighty Network. YouTube owns my YouTube channel, even if I own the content inside. But I think you can still post your content any other place, but you can delete it or whatever. But I still think there's probably some weird ownership rules embedded into all those terms and services. So let's see. Okay, here's a question. So, okay, the new topic to help me understand why, after all the maltodextrin drama of Element, people still do Element sponsorships on YouTube. Realistically, do they pay more to their YouTube creators? So, my understanding is if you are sponsored by Element, they do pay very well. And we have to understand that while that maltodextrin issue was a big deal in our community, a lot of people don't care. Some people just don't care. And the some people that don't care is probably the bulk of the people that are utilizing their product, because even though there's more maltodextrin in the product than we were led to believe initially, which that's the problem that I have. The biggest issue with it's not the amount of maltodextrin that's actually in the product. It's the fact that they tout themselves as a company that tests and tests and retests all along the process, or all along the manufacturing process, from getting the product in to mixing it to packaging to getting ready to ship. They talk about how they test and test and retest, but yet they still thought, or were telling us, there was only, the 4 milligrams versus the 250 to 550 milligrams that's actually in there. So that's what bothers me. But that doesn't bother a lot of people. People don't even think about it. They just look at it as, well, it's just maltodextrin. I don't care. It doesn't impact me. It's a negligible amount. It doesn't impact me. Really only truly impacts those people that it impacts. And that's a small subset of their user base. Now, back to the bulk of the question here, for as far as how I would answer this. Element sponsors creators, and they pay significantly more than YouTube is going to pay them in most instances. No matter how big a YouTube creator is, their sponsorships are almost always going to pay them more than YouTube would pay them for that video. So now this is all hearsay, but I understand that for a 45-second spot in one video, Element is paying somewhere between $400 and $1,200 per video. So if you're a creator and Element comes knocking and they're offering you $400 to put out to do a 45-second ad read in the middle, the beginning of your video or whatever, that's hard to not take. I can't say that if they came to me and said, hey, we'll give you $1,200 per video and we'll do 4 videos this month, that it would be hard to not take that money. Because, for a creator like me, that's life-changing money. That's like, you're coming up on almost $5,000 in a month from doing 4 videos that you were going to do anyway. Now, I'm in the spot where I have never been approached by Element. I've never had them offer to sponsor my content. And I don't necessarily think I would take a sponsorship from them knowing what I know, but it would be difficult. It would definitely be a conversation that I would have with the wife and say, "Hey, Elman has come to me and they're saying they're going to offer us this amount to make this to just to add a 45-second ad into our videos." That's hard to turn down for anybody. And I imagine the bigger the creator you are, the more money they're going to offer you because it's all going to be about reach because they're going to want something in return. They're going to want people to click your link and buy their product consistently. Now, beyond the idea that there's the discrepancy in quantity of an ingredient in their product, I don't think they are offering anything of value when it comes to what the creators are giving. So utilize my link and you get a free sample pack with your order. You're already ordering it. Why would what the sample pack like you should be like, okay, go to my link and we'll send you a free sample pack to see if you like it. And if you like it, then go and order and you get X money off or whatever. But I have no control over that. And even if they came a knocking, I'm a small creator. And they wouldn't work with me at this point anyway, because I've only got 5,500 subscribers. My understanding is they don't start talking to creators until they reach that 10,000 subscriber mark. Then they're also looking at other metrics. They're looking at reach, interaction. They're looking at a lot of different information, and they probably request information from you as a creator to show that your content meets their specifications. But I understand why creators are still doing ads for Element because at the end of the day, only a small percentage of people actually care about what happened with maltodextrin. It was a big hubbub in our community, but our community is a small subset of a larger niche. So the keto carnivore community, as big as it may seem to us, is still tiny when it comes to the overarching health community that is the health side of YouTube. So I just look at this and I understand what it takes to make a living doing this, and I haven't reached that yet. And it would be difficult for me to turn that kind of money down. I mean, because they may want you to do 4 sponsored videos. They may want you to do 8 sponsored videos. I mean, that's a crazy amount of money to turn down for a half a gram of maltodextrin. But like I said, I'm in a situation where they've never come a knocking. So it's easy for me to say that I wouldn't do it or would do it or whatever, because I've never had to face that decision. I would like to think that I would be able to say no. But again, if I'm ever doing Element, just understand that they made an offer I couldn't refuse. And it's not because I don't have standards or scruples or whatever. I have goals of trying to help the community. I want to grow so I can help the community. The farther I can reach, the more people I can help, the more people that find my channel, because I know there's thousands and thousands of people out there who have no idea that there is people like me out there that have been through what they've been through. And I'm not trying to sell anything. There's nothing that I would sell that you need. Now, we need electrolytes, but you don't necessarily need salty. You don't necessarily need Element. There's all kinds of ways to get your electrolytes. You can make them yourself. You don't need Keto Chow to do this lifestyle the right way. You don't need any of the things that I promote. I only promote products that I utilize in my own life that make this lifestyle and journey more comfortable. So if I'm ever in a situation whether or not I take a deal from Element, I don't know what I would do. And I mean, that's gonna be that's the honest truth. Ken is the head gardener, finally using the college degree. I'm the professor of the garden, but we'll help each other daily. 3,000 plants start with 8 students was a lot last year. Oh my goodness, that is a lot. Yeah, they wouldn't dare. You never know what they're going to do. Valerie says, Cindy, that's really good. I intermittent fast and do extended fast occasionally. Normally, when I see glucose is getting high, yeah. Chris says, I had to pay money a lot up front to have Mighty Networks. So, provided I don't violate any user agreements, I actually own it as long as I pay for it. Yeah, I was kind of curious about that, and I'll talk to you about that offline. I have, not necessarily a lot of questions because I don't have any idea how it all works. So, if you start talking to me about it, I'll probably have more questions. But maybe we can do a chat sometime soon. I know we've been talking about that anyway. Let's see. Yeah, Andy says if you have a contract, you have to fulfill that contract, and Element sponsorships are 3 to 6 months long. Yeah, I mean they're talking. Usually it's 3 to 4 videos a month for 3 to 6 months, depending on how big your channel is, how much they're paying you. You know, let's see. Ketogenic woman Anita said she is in a contract with them, but she will be clarifying the maltodextrin in her ads till the contract is done. I mean, it's on their website, so I don't see why that would be a breach of contract providing information that's on their website. And I would be happy to do that as well. There is one person I watch, and he is sponsored by Element. He has a contract, and so he has to fulfill that contract for however long. And I don't ever, I know, like, and Element is just one of those things. How hard coming up with a company in this space can be. I don't think they went into business to deceive. And I don't think that was a malicious thing. I think it was an oversight and people not really paying attention and not knowing that there would be the kind of blowback that they got. But I don't think that the blowback is what we think it is. I think it's a big deal in our space, but we have to look, our niche is a niche of a niche. So, I mean, we're focused in, you know what I mean? So, yeah. Yeah, this is one of those things that that's been bothering me that Lynette is leaving Keto Chow. I hope her the best. I hope she finds what she's looking for. Keto Chow won't be the same without her, and that's going to be 100%. I mean, she is one of the main reasons I like working for Keto Chow. I think they're a great company, and working with her has been amazing. She's been super nice, thoughtful, helpful, responsive to my questions, willing to help me in anything I need. And I just hope that the next rep that we work with is half as good as she was. I'm sad to see her go, but I hope that it's for reasons to make her happier. Maybe because I think she was driving like an hour to work every day. That's crazy. That's too much. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. I don't even want to drive down the street. Like, my job is driving, but I got to drive 12 minutes to get there. And that's, that's not bad. I was looking at working McDonald's that's like 5 minutes around the corner. I still might do that, but we'll see. I have to do something. Shelly is here. Good morning, Shelly. I missed you. She says, good morning, Dustin and friends. I slept in a little. I've had a yucky cough and I felt blocked for the last 5 days. Hope everyone is well. I don't know. There's just been the things going around that just kind of stick with you. It's not good. I hope you feel better soon. And Chris says, standing on principle as a YouTuber is great, but we all have rent to pay, and it's a hard line to to find and walk sometimes. Glad I don't work with Element, but I don't blame those who do. Yeah, like I'm glad they haven't come to me and offered me something that I couldn't refuse. Because, like I said, like realistically, if they were to say, "Hey, we'll pay you $1,200 a video or 4 videos a month, and we'll do that for 3 months," I mean, that's crazy. That's hard to say, especially if I could work it into where I'd say, well, am I allowed to tell them about the maltodextrin, or do I have to stay on the actual script? Because almost everybody reads the exact same script. I mean, if you watch them, they're all pretty much the same. Now, the things that I put out on my channel about them, they probably won't. But I mean, Rob Wolf still follows me on Twitter, so there's that. Take that with a grain of salt. Um, yeah. You can always use the raw, unflavored, and only advertise for that. That's another case as well. Um, you know, it's just I want to make sure that I'm doing things on my own terms. I'm always working on things behind the scenes that are hopefully that it can help generate income that are not not community related, that don't impact this community, because I would like to keep this community, I'd like to, only be, only going after revenue with this community that is stuff that I completely stand behind. And I like Element as a product. I still have a bunch of it. I've got boxes of that stuff. I'm not going to throw it away because I don't think it's a bad enough product that I would throw it away. Not like not like there's lead in it or whatever. But, I just, like I don't even really promote my Spreadshirt. And I put 3 new designs up on my Spreadshirt in the last couple of weeks that I haven't told anybody about, really. I did send something to Sean because I know Sean likes some of the same things that I do, and one of the new designs on the Spreadshirt or Spreadshop or whatever it is along those lines. I mean, I just don't think that Spreadshop is a value for me to promote it. I like the fact that I can link it to my YouTube, and if you see something and you want to support me and that's the way you want to do it, cool. Or if you think it's a decent value to buy a hoodie or a t-shirt from Spreadshop that's linked to my YouTube account, I'm working with somebody else trying to get merchandise out there, but I won't be able to connect that to my YouTube. So I still have to keep some kind of merch connected to my YouTube. I just don't promote it very much. I do have 2 new bacon designs, t-shirts that say bacon on it in 2 different ways. And I've got one that's a Keto Simple logo that's more of like a heavy metal logo type thing. So if you're at all interested in that, understanding the prices that Spreadshirt charges, I do know that they do sales of 20% off here and there. I just don't know when those are. Like I said, I don't look into that too much because I don't sell a lot, because I don't promote it a lot. I just don't think it's the right value. And I mean, there's stickers and things on there. They're all the designs I have. You can get them on bags and all that stuff. Take a look at it, see what you think. Like I said, I don't think it's a good value, so I don't promote it very much. And Becky just said, I don't have a Facebook account. And that's a lot of people don't have Facebooks, Cindy says, I have considerable amount of Element in my house. It will get used, will not throw it out. The minute the small amount of maltodextrin in it doesn't impact me or my husband. So that's a way to look at that, Let's see. Chris says, that's why I work with Salty. Flat discount with a code, no lies, no sales tactics, no contracts. My kickback depends on how many people use my link, and that's it. Simple. Yeah. And I like the idea that I work with both Salty and Keto Chow, basically the same company, but I like working with them as well because you can use my code and it works for a discount every time you use it. Unlike a lot of those things where it's a one-time only, I get a kickback every time you use my link instead of just once. I work with a couple other companies that I like their products, but I don't promote them as much because Once you've used the link, then I don't get anything out of it anymore. And I mean, it has to be a symbiotic relationship for me to post something for those people who are going to actually see my posts, interact with my posts, and want to purchase something from my posts. I'm probably not going to see something from those who may have already used it. So, I mean, yeah, you could use a different email address or whatever, but it might go by your IP address. I don't know. But that's one reason I do like working with Salty and Keto Chow is they do things like taking care of their creators, and really it goes based on how your reach is, because they don't necessarily come to you with sponsorships. I'm sure that they do sponsorships, with certain creators. I'm not one of them. I'm not a big creator in the grand scheme of things. I'm a very small, not even considered a micro influencer. I'm a tiny channel in the grand scheme of things at 5,500 subscribers. So when it comes to making money, there's a lot of work involved and it takes a long time to get there. It takes a lot of work to get there, not necessarily time, but usually those go hand in hand. Yeah, I love that. That's one of the things I love, their honesty. I love how open they are. Yes, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. It really means a lot. Any interaction you do with these videos, the longer you watch the videos, the more you interact with them, the more their comments, questions, shares, all those things truly help us as a channel, because then it grows us, and the more people who see this and click on it, the better. Cindy said that they made electrolyte gummies yesterday using Element that they have. Yeah. With Element, there used to be a 10% discount if you order. My understanding is if you order from a creator, you just get the free sample pack. And the only way to get a discount is if you ordered 4 or more boxes. Or you ordered 4 boxes, you basically got 1 for free. Let's see. I use Element and put it into 6. Let's see, put up to, let's see, overall, let's see, outweigh the maltodextrin issue for me. I move 2 to 4 tons of copper and aluminum hand by hand a day. Oh my goodness gracious! So you're working that, and you drive 50 minutes each way daily. Oh my goodness! I mean, I know people do it, but that just I mean, I used to drive 35 to 40 minutes each way, and it just seemed to suck so much life out of me. Also, at the time, I was also having to visit my mom in the nursing home every day, then have to go to the grocery store and get stuff for dinner, then cook dinner when I got home and make sure the kids did their homework, make sure the kids were doing the dishes and the fighting with them to do the dishes. It just seemed like you was working. I was at work for 9 hours, at work for 9 hours, but I was like basically like, over an hour in commute both, between both ways, and then visiting my mom in or the nursing home. She was in a nursing home for the better part of a decade, so that was a constant thing. So I would go and see her every day as much as possible, and then just making life in general was, like that commute. That's where I think working remote, companies don't like it, but I think it benefits the employees so much. Just knocking that hour off a day, unlike the last job that I had where I didn't have to take a lunch if I didn't want to. I could just work a straight 8. I could log in at 7 and clock out at 3. I didn't have to worry about an hour lunch. I didn't have to do it, like, especially if I'm fasting and I don't eat till 5 or 6, why do I gotta take a lunch if I don't need it? Just take a 15-minute break or do whatever I need to do, just whatever. I just think there's just so much structure that could be condensed to give more of a work-life home balance. I think that's truly beneficial just driving that far. And I understand there's gonna be jobs that's a mandate because you can't do copper things at home, or you can't be a nurse at home, and I understand that, but I worked insurance and all that stuff for a long time, and that could have been done at home. Rich really could. Rick got a cold? Oh my goodness, but it only lasted 2 days. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better, Rick. Yeah, I saw some of that interview and I still think it was kind of a fluff piece. And that's just my personal opinion. I didn't hear any real hard hitting questions in there. I just think that there was just I just think, because Chris did a video and I quote a lot about what Chris said on that video. The idea that they talk a big game in the beginning or on their website about testing and retesting and checking and rechecking, and that's something that just went unnoticed for how many months? They never told anybody about it, and they just quietly put it into a blog post. That just doesn't sit right with me. And it's not that, and like I said, time and time again, it's not the amount of something that's the issue for me. It's the fact that it was so different from what they initially told us, and they just kind of nonchalantly dropped it into a blog post that you couldn't really find. You had to search for it. You couldn't just find it on a header in their website. It's just a lot of little things adding up that just make me wonder about it. A lot of moving parts there. Let's see. No one will ever approach me to advertise their products. I am a de-influencer. Maybe ducks. Maybe the ducks will. Well, the ducks won't even do that. Like, what's it like? What's the whole thing with Chick-fil-A? Their thing is like the cows talking about eat more chicken. Yeah, they'd be like, what, chickens trying to eat more ducks? Yeah. I mean, realistically, we do influence people. We are here and we do influence people. On what level is the question? Thank you, Sean. I appreciate that. Brenda Foley, good morning. Thank you for being here. Chris says, my channel has 5.5 million views. I think I'm at 650,000 views on my channel. And I've sold probably 10 shirts, maybe. He said he sold about 15 to 20 shirts total in the lifetime of the channel. It's not worth promoting heavily. Yeah, I think if I could get it, once things go live and things work with a person that I'm working on things with, and I get some designs that I'm really behind, and I can get them at a price that I think is fair for the end consumer, then I will push it hard and talk about it all the time. Because I think if you really want to support me, that might be the best way to do it. And you're getting something tangible out of it. You're getting something you can hold in your hands. You can put the shirt on. You feel good about yourself. And I truly appreciate everybody that has purchased shirts from me. I know Stacy has, and Ken, and Evelyn, and Carl, and I know Sean maybe has bought shirts. I think. I truly appreciate everybody who buys that merch from Spreadshop, but it's just not a good value in my opinion, and it's just hard for me to try to sell it. I'd put it there because I think I should, because if people want to purchase it and they find it to be a good value, then by all means, go for it. But Chris says here, it's not worth talking about heavily. Like I said, I put up 3 new designs and didn't even promote it at all, outside of sending a couple of actual text messages to Sean. But in my next video, I will, when I go in, it'll ask me to connect a couple of new, and I'll make sure the new designs are in my new video, or in the bottom of the video, so you can see what they look like. But yeah, Scrummy Sweets works the same way as Keto Chow, Salty with Affiliates. I took photos with her and stuff, and talked with her at KPL, but I've not heard from her since. So she hasn't offered me to be an affiliate or anything like that. So um, yeah, I like their product. It tastes okay. I got the syrup for the granddaughter. She didn't like it. So I still have the syrup. I haven't tried it. I tried it at KPL. It tastes okay. Yeah, so Rick says he took care of his mom for 9 years. Nursing home was not. Well, see, the way my mom was, we had her intermittently at our house, at our apartment, but like the doors and the wheelchair she had, like things were not compatible. It was just very difficult to move her around because she was a very large woman, and so she needed like things like a Hoyer lift and things like that that we didn't have access to. And I still feel terrible all the time, her not being at home with me all the time. I was at one point looking to try to buy a house that I could bring her home so that I could have a way to take care of her because the nursing home she was in was awful. And I did everything to try to find places for her to go. Her being on Medicaid and all that stuff, it was very limited in who would take her, who could take her. And it was just one of those things that, like, it kind of still eats at me inside. And, you know, that's, I would rather be just tossed into a ditch than sent to a nursing home. 100% honestly here. Let's see. I had two jobs that were 90-minute commutes each way, but my salary justified the trip. I don't even know. I mean, I get that too. Like, I don't know like how much of like a salary would justify that, like driving, 3 hours a day. I mean, I guess I'd be like good on podcasts, I guess, and books on, books on Audible and stuff, because that's what I would do all the time. Listen to podcasts and books. Um, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, $117 for and free shipping for 4 boxes. So yeah, because they're normally $45 a box for 30 sticks. So if you can get, what is that, 120 sticks for $117, that's not a bad deal. That's probably not too far off from what you can get salty for. So I think it would just come down to which one you like best, and obviously which one's cleaner or whatever. Becky says that she drives 45 minutes each way to work, weather permitting. So that was also an issue that I had with driving that far because I would leave at a specific time, and there were days that I would be late and days that I would be super early. So I would have issues with the commute because of traffic, accidents, and the job had this policy that they were not doing point systems or whatever. We're just going to look at whatever. And I'm like, I'm late because of traffic. I leave the house at the same time every day. Sometimes I'm here 15 minutes early. Sometimes I'm 15 minutes late. But I refuse to go and be there an hour early just so I'm not late. I refuse. That's why I think working from home is such a benefit for people who, work in jobs where that's possible. Yeah, I wish I could have kept my mom out of a nursing home. It just wasn't something that I had control over at the time. Nashville traffic used to suck the life out of me too. Not that far, but it took 20 to 30 minutes and was pure frustration. Yeah, Nashville traffic, like I've been through Nashville, like heading towards like Murfreesboro and stuff like that, trying to even just the outskirts of Nashville. It's a pain just driving. I mean, just the few times that I've done that. Yeah, my mom. So Rick says my mom was in a nursing home for 2 weeks to rehabilitate, but made no progress. I took her home and she was walking in 3 days. So my mom had had a massive stroke and she had like, the paralysis on one side of her body and all that stuff. So it was just very difficult getting her to move around. So I mean it's still very commendable, and I would have done it if I had the resources at my disposal to do so. Um, CNC says sometimes the CEO is unaware once the company gets bigger of what's really going on. Yes, I think it is a little fluffy and a lot of excuses for a distinct lack of attention. I mean, like I just think and I totally agree here. The CEO doesn't always know the day to day, but the CEO is paid to know. And I mean, Rob Wolf's not a CEO. Rob Wolf is just a founder. He's not involved in day to day. Somebody else is. But I think that if you are going to be a person that is involved, with the company in name only, you should still at least be versed enough to know. And I think that the company should be more forthcoming if they are touting what they were touting. So, yeah, and a lot of people never see money. I mean, realistically, like I said, like the people that make like 50 to $100 off of YouTube a month are like 0.25% of all content creators out there. So like sub 1% of creators actually make any money, and you have to make at least $100 a month to get a payment every month because they don't pay you out until you hit $100. So I think the idea of YouTube of being like a get rich quick scheme is for people who are trying to build a community is not the thing. But I still think it's very rewarding and I truly love every minute of it. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it. I spend a lot of time on YouTube. Um, Rick says I even started a Saturday morning live stream. Well, that's awesome. I'll have to check that out and if I can catch it. Ken is here. Good morning, Ken. I'm glad you're here, my friend. Cindy said, just checked your merch. Love the bacon design. There's 2 new bacon designs, so check it and let's see if you like them both. Let's see. Has anyone talked to Autumn recently? I was giving her some space after she announced no KPL this year. I haven't really had much interaction with her outside of KPL itself because I was going into her lives every Sunday and some Wednesdays, and then she's basically just stopped doing lives. So I imagine when she comes back, she'll be back. I don't know. I don't know enough to know what's going on. I've just kind of left her alone. I don't want her to think that I didn't want her to think that you know, we're upset with her or anything like that. I melt a half a stick of butter and melt in the sugar-free syrup makes it delish. Oh, I bet that sounds good too. Cindy says that she asked to be a Scrummy Sweets affiliate. I'm not looking for another affiliate at this point. If she asked me, then I would consider it, but I'm just not looking for that right now, you know? Let's see. Chris says close to the same price as salty, but salty also has more potassium and magnesium, so it's technically cheaper for the amount of those electrolytes you're getting. And salty probably why. Yeah, and I think I think there's something to be said about that as well. Um, I mean, I would say that salty is probably, for all intents and purposes, it's the superior product. But if you're just looking at face value of somebody who doesn't understand that, they're looking at just a cost basis. They're probably not looking at the amounts that you're getting. And I know that they say Element has the marketing that it's a science-backed formula. And I mean, salty doesn't say that, but I imagine it is. Because I imagine that Chris isn't going to leave any stone unturned, especially seeing in real time what can happen to a competitor when things come to light. So yeah. Let's see. Shell and I grew up in DC. I used to work at a bank in Capitol Hill that was 4 miles away. It would take me 45 minutes on a good day to get there. Now I live in the country. Amy says, my mother-in-law is in a nursing home. She lived with us during the vid and has dementia, but started falling down the stairs at the time. We both worked away and hated the decision to have to put her in there. It's just one of those things that unfortunately we have to make, especially if everybody in the house works and you just can't leave somebody alone. I mean, it's never an easy decision. You don't want to do it. I hated every minute of my mom being there. And I mean, it's still something that I think about and it just devastates me even to this day. And she's been gone over 10 years, you know. And Chris is 100% here. Being a YouTuber is a passion and I love it. Never an easy job though, but our community is worth the hard work. Yeah, 150,000%. I mean, if it was for the money, we wouldn't be doing it. If it was for the money, we'd be trying to be Mr. Beast. I mean, I do look at things that Mr. Beast does and take those into account to kind of see how can I implement that into my community. But I mean, I try not to be sensationalist. I try not to be, overly negative or anything like that. I try to just be real. Sometimes you have to tell the truth, and the truth is negative. But I try to not be nasty about it. I try to keep everything positive and upbeat. I just want to make sure that we're all here and we're all doing the best we can. And hopefully we are a light or a beacon to others who may have been where we were. Because I think together we're a wealth of knowledge. And if we can actually work together and utilize that knowledge to help everyone who comes in and not be myopic and not be dogmatic, and the fact that one way what worked for us is the only way, and if you don't do it the exact way I did, then you're doing it wrong. And I just think we have to be open if we want to help 8 billion people. And there's 8 billion people out there who, and most of them need help. So that's what I'm here to do, whether I'm getting paid well to do it or not. But hopefully, I will at least be able to make enough to pay for everything. We are not in a position to sell our home. We bought the house next door to my parents so we could help take care of them in their home as they age. Well, yeah, that's the thing. Is like you do anything and everything you can do, but at the time, like I took care of my grandma, and you know, my mom went to the nursing home. My grandma was still able to drive, and then over time, we had to take her car away, after my mom passed away, and it was just difficult because my grandma got old, and then basically when my mom passed away, my grandma got to the point where she started to go downhill because she lost her purpose. And that's one of those things, like, once you don't have a purpose, and then as her friends begin to pass one by one, she just kind of went downhill quicker and quicker. Now, she did move in with my aunt the last few years, and I think that was good for her to spend time with her, and because I wasn't able to be there as much with responsibilities with kids and Chandra and everything. So she got a chance to spend time with my aunt and live there. And I mean, nothing's perfect. Nothing ever goes according to plan. So you know, those things do impact my life, and I have regrets, but I try to do everything I can to help all of you wonderful people. Let's see. Chris says billions of people exist and all of them need help of some kind. Hate and anger don't help any of them. Hence why we do what we do and stand for the community. That's what the Keto Crusade's about. That's what my channel's about. You know, um, it's just, the things that we just want to do what's right by the community. Freeman Gameplay says, "You remember me?" Maybe. I gotta see if I can look at your. It's hard for me to remember all these things. I know you've been here before, but thank you so much for being here. Truly appreciate you. Oh my goodness. Welcome, welcome. Probably. Let's see. So I don't know if I look at his face, his profile picture. Yeah. Oh my goodness. How are you doing? Oh, coffee. Oh, some good questions today. What's for dinner? I'm thinking about making broccoli cheddar soup. Yep, some I think broccoli cheddar soup. I got a big bag of fresh broccoli florets in the fridge. A lot of cheese. I think I'll make broccoli cheddar soup. That sounds good. Thanks so much for being here. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Yeah. So I think dinner is going to be broccoli. Well, I mean, whenever I get it made, I'll eat some. Then Shander will have some when she gets home. We're not doing family dinner tonight. We just had everybody over for the holiday, and everyone's kind of trying to get back together. I think Monday night we'll do a leap over with the granddaughter. We may take her bowling. Like, that new bowling alley near our house is nice, and they've got a full arcade and all that stuff. Yeah, so I'm excited to do that because I like hanging out with my girl. Yeah, yeah. Autocorrect messes with me. I cannot even put in and it's I'm and autocorrect on my phone is always rough. Rick says my keto friend here loves broccoli, onions, ground beef, cheddar stew. Sounds delicious too. Oh, let's see. Oh, you said you left a comment on one of my videos. I had to go and look it up. I don't get that many comments, but I still don't remember all of them. Let me see here. The stew tastes and smells good. Yeah, I mean stew's good. It's probably what you guys were talking about, and that happens to me all the time on the Sunday morning. You just go in and review it, and just have them review it. They should take it away. Should be no issue. It's just irritating that you can say something that's not necessarily the way it's picked up by AI is not necessarily how it's intended. But just because you say something, that's why I try not to mention political names or talk politics, because just mentioning someone's name can trigger the algorithm to put you in money timeout or whatever, or monetization, limited monetization. It's frustrating. And he just made coffee. I'm freezing, so I cranked up the heat. I don't even do that. I just put a hoodie on. We don't do the heat here too much. We keep it at 65 and we just put a hoodie on. We just survive. We just live, be cold. Yeah, beef broth. Let's see. Beef broth in the roaster will be ready this afternoon. It sounds yummy. Just check the content, the live stream from Friday. Yeah. Yeah, so just go in and you can just click on that and then you can review it, have them review it. Usually takes about 24 to 48 hours, but you'll know that they've done it if the little money sign turns green from orange or whatever. There should be no problems. I don't have any problems with it. Usually I've never had them not fix it. But again, I'm not a controversial channel in the ways that other channels are controversial. And I try to keep things light and I try to avoid saying certain things because I know how the algorithm or the listening can be. But I didn't get a chance to listen to all your live stream on Friday, so I don't know what all said. But I know that some of it was talking about other things, so that's a very big possibility as to why. Just have them review it; should be fine. Mm. So what's everybody else got going on for this weekend? What are everybody's New Year's plans? Anybody going out? Anybody have reservations somewhere? Let's see. It was an old video. I don't know how long ago did you comment. I mean, it was an old video. I don't know. Like, it's not letting me look it up and see. At least not right now. I'm not sure what's going on or why it's not letting me, but it's not. Um, I barely remember what I did yesterday. Oh my goodness. I did go ahead and the way trash is, the way they picked up trash Monday. Then we had the holidays Tuesday, Wednesday. So we had all the holiday trash. So I bagged it all up and it's been sitting in my garage. Um, because I forgot to put the trash down on Monday night. And so there's that. So I have a full trash can, all the Christmas trash. So I put it out yesterday because our daughter was supposed to pick it up from us. And then she didn't. She didn't have room for all of it. They're supposed to pick it up for me today, and I haven't heard them come by yet. So yeah. Yeah. Amy says it's so foggy here I can't see across the yard. Oh my goodness, I haven't looked outside. No, I saw outside today when I got to open the garage for Shannon to leave this morning to go to work. Let's see. Chris has said I'm using my chip recipe to do a new experiment this week. Maybe another game changer. You're gonna fry them up. I wonder how they would do fried. Would they be thin? I don't know. Curious. Evan says we are heading to Andy and Susan's house and making cake donut funnel cakes. Oh, that sounds so good. Let's see. Amy says grandbaby's spending the night the first time since they moved out, so dad can have a date. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, the topic of conversation can be one of those things. Yeah. Even if it's not necessarily unmonetizable, it'll still trigger things and you just have them review it. It'll be fine. It's not a real person doing it either way. So I don't know. Not a very long time ago. Excited for new ideas. I've got swirling and so Chris is saying he has a special live stream on 1/1/25 announcing the new product. or projects as such. Busy week. Oh yeah. I only know a little bit of what's going on, and it's a lot. Susan, or if Susan is better, Evelyn. I will check it in a few days again. Did you submit it for review, Cindy? I'm not postponing the New Year's until Tuesday. What time on the first, Chris? Amy's staying in. It's too scary and expensive to go out. We're just going to a friend's house, so it should be just fine. He's in the house. Hey, yo. Amy says, my one granddaughter is excited about the Ninja Creamy, so I told her they could have ice cream for breakfast. Nice. Nothing here. Possible live stream and Brian at 6. Okay, that'll be fun. 10 a.m. Eastern on the 1st. 9 a.m. 10 a.m. I don't know. I may not be watching that live, bud. I don't think we'll be awake. That's New Year's Day. As much as I want to be there and be involved, I don't know if I'll be awake for that. If I am, it'll be like alive for it and then back to sleep. Especially if I got to take care of Chandra. Chandra's going out for the first time in a while, and she's going to let her hair down, if you know what I mean. Andy says, I'm better, but if it went to her, don't want anyone sick from us. Yeah. Sonny's going to be hanging out with family on the New Year's. So he says, sorry, is late. Had you up and running while taking care of some chores. No worries, bud. Take care, Steph. Hey, Leaky. Everybody, I'm on my way to work, so I won't be able to read the comments. I'm driving at the moment. Love you, Leak. Be safe. Amy asking Amy if she's made a creamy yet. I'll look for it. Freeman said I left another comment on the video. I'll take a look for it. Let's see. Sean says Shell has a call on New Year's Day, so we're doing absolutely nothing New Year. Ugh, gross. I'll have to watch the replay. I'll try to wake up and be interactive in that, and then go back to sleep. We'll see how that goes because we'll be kid free that day. There's a New Year's parade. Shelley King says I'm on call 24 hours on January 1st, so it will be early night for me, whatever I do. Oh my goodness. That's weird because usually if it shows mine, I can just go ahead and click it and have them review it right away because it usually pops up orange shortly after my live stream. People are saying hi to Leaky. You don't have to see. I'll read it out to you. He says, I'm scheduled to work New Year's Day, so not planning to stay up too late. Ugh. I know not everything can close for New Year's Day, but it should be one of those like everybody has the day off type things, as many people as possible. Evelyn says, I filled up all 7 of my creamy containers, so we'll have one today. I think we have 9 containers now. I think we got 7 and we got 2 on clearance. I think we have 9. Well, I'm sorry. It's like my Christmas this year was not very good. Well, I'm sorry about that. Amy says, no, Amy, I have not made one yet because getting ready for family Christmas yesterday, I may wait till New Year's so my granddaughter can help. Yeah. Pretty sure I'll be asleep as usual New Year's Eve. I can't seem to stay awake past 7 p.m. Sometimes wake up and catch a small bit, but I am a replayer. Oh, the Rose Bowl parade, the Rose Parade. Okay, yeah, I think I've heard of that before.
Yeah, Shell completely agrees with the gross comment. Yeah, I don't think it's right to put people on call for that long. I will see what I can do about bringing you some lunch around 2:30 today, Leaky. I'll see what I can do. I make no promises because I may have work. I don't know. Amy says she bought an extra container on Amazon. I found two on clearance at Walmart one day, and our creamy, because we were gifted our creamy from Cindy, and it came with 7 containers. Bye, Evelyn. Have a good one. You're on vacation? Okay. Well, that's good. Doing anything fun? Let's see. I'm still doing the blender ice cream, no counter space for a creamy. They do take up a lot of room. And Chris is asking if I got everything I wanted from Santa. I don't ask Santa for anything. I know I get in trouble. I got in trouble for the waffle iron thing because I ended up getting 2 waffle irons this year. Shander had bought me one, and Andy was so generous to get me one as well. So I'll be working on a giveaway to give away one of the spare ones. So you guys will win one of those from me. I'm not sure quite how I'm going to do that giveaway yet. It'll probably be in 2025, and we're not that far away anyway. But it might be something fun to do get a kickstart the year. Yeah, yeah. So I got time with my family. I got time with my girl. She got to open a lot of presents. So I want to say that Christmas was a success in this house. He says New Year's Eve is kind of old hat for me. Just rinse, repeat. All right, Cindy. Well, you have a good one. This will sound so weird, but I'm from a different country. It's not that weird. We have people from Canada, and I've had people from Australia. Where are you from? Uh, I haven't because I want to try your recipe first, and I got to get some. I've got to order some egg white powder still. All right, Cindy. Thank you for being here. Have a great day. Tell Guinea Pig we love him. Yeah, family time is the greatest gift. 100%. Well, that's cool. It's from Spain. I want to visit Spain someday. I want to visit all the places: Spain and Italy and Germany, France. I want to go to all the places. Well, I think that about wraps it up for today, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a wonderful stream, and I'm glad you've all been here. Brenda says, I'm pretty sure if I had 2 waffle irons, I would use them both at the same time, make a speedy. Well, they're both 4 waffle irons. So I can make 4 chaffles or whatever at a time with each one. So I mean it would make short work, but realistically, I already had 2 of the singles. So the single dash minis, I had 2 of those. One fell out of my cabinet and broke. So I would make, because whenever I make a batch, I usually make a dozen, sometimes 13, depending on the batch size. And it would take me 6 rotations to make a dozen. With this, it'll take me 3. And if I had 2, I would be able to make 12 very quickly. But I don't want to do that just for the fact that um, I think somebody can get more use out of it. And I would rather see somebody get more use out of it than me having that much of a speedy thing. And that takes a lot of counter space. Having 8 shuffles at a time sounds crazy. If I was running like a food truck or something, maybe, but I don't want to do that. Yeah, I would love to go to where all the metal festivals are happening, all the different ones. Yeah, like Poland and all that stuff, and all of them would be amazing. Everybody have a wonderful, wonderful night, wonderful day. I'll be around for the rest of the day. Just going to be chilling, probably depending if work calls. I may have some work today, later today. All right, I'll take lunch to my brother. You all have an amazing day. I love you all. And until next time, we'll see you probably next Thursday, not Tuesday, because Tuesday is New Year's Eve. So anyway, yes, I would love to see all of your faces. The next time we see you, it'll be 2025. How crazy is that? Be on the lookout for the video tomorrow. But anyway, here are the credits. Have a good one.